beautiful queens and handsome kings doing this evening. How you all doing? Welcome or welcome back to another video. How you doing? This will kind of be like a little mini life update or a chit chat video. I want to say, hold on, y'all. Okay, you all, I'm back. I was just trying to find the perfect angle on how I want to talk to you all. I hope you all can see me. Such a the sun seems like I want to come outside. Such a beautiful sunny day. But yeah, welcome back to a new video. I just kind of wanted to give you all like a little mini life update on far as with me, what's been going on, and during these uncertain times. I'm gonna try to be a little transparent, but also I'm just like I say, I'm just opening up at the moment. And I pray that everything is going well for you all as well, and staying prayed up despite of life circumstances or what might come against your way. Continue to trust God. But jumping right into the video, I just want to say these last couple of weeks, if you're new here, I'm a food server. I work as a banquet server and a regular food server at a hotel and a restaurant. And so these last couple of weeks, it's just been extremely slow. When I say it's been so slow to the point where I have to find something to do. Like I never seen it this slow working in this industry. Like it had like normally around this time it do be, this usually be peak season around the holiday time it gets slow. But there usually be people still traveling. But these last couple weeks, when I say it been extremely slow, it been to the point where sometimes I finish my work early and I clock out earlier than my normal time. And then the thing is, it's like you would think people is traveling more. I don't know if it's just due to inflation and it's causing people to like kind of cut back on spending. Like when I say I never seen it this bad to the point where I'm looking like do I need to start well, which I feel like I've been budgeting my money pretty good. But overall, it's to the point now where I really, really like I don't really spend out a lot. I only just buy like the things I need, and of course, pay my bills. But it's to the point where I'm like, it's I never seen nothing like it, and I kind of wish that my employer or I wish they can really open up and let me and other people that work with me know what's going on. But the things is, from what it's seeing, is not looking good. I don't really know how business is going to be looking for the next year or so. So I just said, you know what, I'm gonna continue to keep applying for different jobs. I've been constantly applying for jobs. You all been hearing me talk about this in previous videos that I've been constantly going out practice. I mean, not practicing. You all going to apply for different jobs, but nobody haven't really reached out to me. A lot of places will tell me that they hiring, but when I reach back out to them, as far as I might get is an interview, and then maybe 2 or 3 days later, I mean maybe a week or so, somebody probably reach out and tell me that that position been filled. So my schedule for next week, I have saw my schedule and it's not looking good. I'm out 4 days and I work only 3 days, and I haven't seen a schedule like that since when around the time when, well, a little bit before, I want to say around 2020, I'm gonna say it like that. And so for me, with me, I always said that I never wanted to burn my bridges. Like I learned this saying years ago from my I think my great grandmother taught me this, like never burn the bridge, because you never know when you might come across that bridge again. And so with me, you all know I always have been a hard worker. Like I've been working ever since I was 17 years old, and been on the grind ever since. And so like I say, I'm always applying every day, applying myself. But at the end of the day, I say I'm not going to stress myself out, because that's really what I feel like really been eating me up lately, is a lot of financial stress, because these times are becoming more uncertain for me. And I know I'm not the only one, because I watch a lot of videos now on the platform on YouTube. A lot of people is really opening up and talking about how, you know, life is really hitting them, getting the best of them. So many people barely can afford to pay their bills and afford to live. Even with me, this pay period, like my check, like my income it's just not enough. It's not enough. Like, I'm working two different departments, and it's just not enough to manage. So I ended up reaching back out to one of my old supervisors. I already had his number on in my phone, and I was always told that if something was to come up, or if I ever needed to, that I was always eligible for a rehire because they like my work ethics. I said I never thought it would get this bad that I would have to reach back out to an old job and let them know that I might need to come back and just work part time. But overall, where I'm currently working at, I'm not gonna let this job go. Right now, I'm looking at it like I need more than one source of income coming in. So just in case something really happened, for one, I have another one to lean on too. But at this moment, I'm gonna have to work two jobs. Like, my goal was, I was trying to manage and do the best I can by one income, because I have worked two jobs before, and when I say it's really draining, and it's not good. I mean, it's not healthy for your health. Like, especially when you get up in age. Like I say, I'm 40 years old, so I'm pretty much getting up there. Even though most people consider 40 still young, but I'm starting to feel my age a little bit. But working so many jobs, it will do something to your body. Your body will shut down, because like I say, one job I already have you tired. So I've decided that I reached back out the other day, contacted my old supervisor, and he told me I'm welcome to come back, but I do have to go back through the hiring process, and fill out the application again, be re-interviewed, go from steps from there. But yeah, when I do start back working there, like I said, it'd be part time. But it's really sad when you have to, you shouldn't have to work two jobs just to make it. I feel like in some way we've been programmed, and I ain't gonna say too much failed, but I feel like we was taught to, if you go to school and work hard, you get a good job, and get your degree or whatever. Nowadays, you have people have a degree, still can't get a job in their field, or even the ones that probably been working for 20 plus years in their field. You got a lot of people been getting laid off from their jobs, companies going out of business, not telling employees that, hey, I'm sorry. I've been seeing so much going on in the media, and I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to just give y'all a little mini life update, because I feel like even in my department, what I'm doing right now, because I'm working in the hotel industry, I even feel like at this point my job isn't safe. To really be honest, I feel like my job not safe at all. So, I just been constantly hearing about so many layoffs and stuff, like even with FedEx here in Memphis. They claiming that I seen it on Google, where on the news, that they supposed to be laying like 200 FedEx workers off. Y'all know when they constantly laying people off, that means places are going to be more short staffed, and there's more pressure on the workers that's already there, and that's putting more stress on people because they got to pull in extra weight. And so it's just really sad, because prior to me making this decision that I did, like I say, I had maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I had talked to my general manager, and my manager was there as well. And so, I let him know that, I talked to him nicely and told him, I appreciate, what he been doing. He have, looking out for me, making sure I'm good and stuff, and, giving me this chance and this opportunity. But, if there's a way I can get a raise, because I feel like I do a lot. Like, I go over and beyond for my position, and I do more than what the average person would do. And I was told that, well, I can't give you a raise because due to the funds, and business is not picking back up, and business not looking good. And it just really woke me up, because I'm looking like, here I was busting my butt, like I'm working two different departments, and then you have other people who choosing not. I feel like it just, they let me know nowadays that these people don't care about you, which I don't expect for nobody to care about me. It's just a simple fact that when you putting all this hard work into something. But overall, I'm always been a hard worker, but they don't let me know that I'm not gonna go more. So it was when I overheard that message, it just taught me to just go hard after my dreams. Like, it's like I've been low key, been really thinking about going back to school, or just learning a skill. So if I don't go back to school, because like I say, I just really been debating on that. Should I go back? Because I know it took me 4 years to get my degree, and I have a certificate as well. It's to either learn a skill So I've been thinking about planning on doing that. Like I've been trying to come up with ideas on how I can better my skills, the little skills that I do have, or learn something new, because I'm looking at with this economy that's going on, it's not really looking good. Then I've been hearing stories about how, AI taking over, and it's just really sad though, the things I'm seeing now. And so I just said, I'm gonna just stay prayed up, and I encourage anybody that's going through the same thing, or if you experiencing this, because one thing about me, when I feel like if something being revealed and I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and like I say, I know when something is not right or something feel right out of my spirit, I try to find ways how I can, do something about it, especially when it's affecting me. So some just said, what, Kanisha, so since you can't find a job, maybe you should just reach out to one of your old supervisors and see if they can use your help. Because I can't drown. Like I said, I have a senior, a daughter that's a senior. We all know when these kids, they last year, they got prom and, graduation fees, and they have all these activities. And, just trying to survive off of one income is not good enough, especially when your hours being cut. I can see if you a person that's making a certain amount of money, a certain amount by the hour. Like I'm just say for example, like if a person making $25 an hour or something like that, $30 an hour. If you getting all your hours and your days in, you probably could manage a little better. But if you get paid under that, it's mighty hard to manage with one income, especially even as a server, when majority of your income come from tips. But if you're not getting a lot of business, if the company is not getting a lot of business and people not spending money, how can you make tips? And nowadays, most time people don't always tip. Like I remember one day I worked by myself. Half times people don't always leave a big tip. So I'm looking like, how do you expect for somebody to bring home this amount of money when you're being taxed on your tips, and people just not tipping because the food is expensive? I mean, you spend almost $20 or $13 for breakfast. Of course, you feel like you ain't gonna tip. And like I say, I always been a hard worker, but I made up my mind that I'm gonna just continue to keep pushing myself and keep trying. And I'm forever grateful for, just the opportunities that have been given to me. And I know God will make a way, but it's just getting to the point now that I never thought that what's happening in the economy would really affect people like this. Because I feel like when you affecting people's livelihood and their money, that's a big deal, because your bills getting paid, but you're not worrying about those around you. And it's really sad, because I'm starting to feel like the rich is getting more richer, while I feel like there's not gonna be no more middle class. So it's the rich against the poor, and then I just feel like in between, the person that's you trying to still figure it out. I never, I remember I used to always say, I want to be rich someday. I want to be rich. I had to take that word lightly, and reason why I say that, I never forget, years ago, this woman, there was an older lady. I was working for a golf tournament, and she said, never say. She overheard me talking because the homes were so beautiful. There was some homes built on this golf course, and I worked there at that time, but that was way before the pandemic. Like I say, stuff wasn't expensive back then. And she was like, young lady, never say you want to be rich, because there are some people who's rich and not happy, or there are some people that's rich and don't know what to do with the money. And that lady, when she spoke to me, when she told me that really woke me up. And that that speech she told me stuck with me all these years. Like at that time, I was like, I probably been like 23, 24, maybe 22. Yeah, I had been like in my 20s, early 20s. And that speech stuck with me to all this time, because I'm learning nowadays that you can have a lot and still don't know what to do with it, versus even if somebody don't have much and still trying to figure out how can they get more. So it's like you just can't win for losing no more. But it's just like at this moment, I'm just continue to trust God, and I'm gonna do what I can to survive. Like I'm not gonna do nothing wrong or nothing, but if I can find ways to make money and legally, I'm gonna do that, because like I say, you have to have it to survive. And like I say, with these times, bills, they not stopping, they continue to keep going. So it's like I'm just at this point, I just been trying to figure it out, like what's my next step. But I'm also going to try to learn and study and continue keep getting the information on how I can learn a new skill, or even find some hobbies to do, because I'm telling you, the times we living in now, you have to. It's like basically you trying to figure it out. Like how can I figure this out to help me get to this direction or to that direction. But yeah, I'm not gonna make this video too long. I just kind of wanted to come in and just give you all a little mini update on what's happening, and just praying for better days, because at this point I don't, I feel like no job, and I'm starting to see that now. No job is really safe. If you have a job, hold on to it. The best way you can to continue to keep showing up for yourself. But at the end of the day, we have no control over what's going on with this world and this economy, because again, people are going to do what they want to do. And I feel like a lot of people is going through, because they've been talking about studies about a lot of people is having stress, and a lot of people is really stressed out due to financial issues. And also a lot of the stress is coming from this economy too. That I'm a witness, I can say that, because it really been affecting me. I've been, like I say, I've been staying in my word, staying prayed up. But sometimes I fall short, because I try to figure out how I'm gonna survive as well with what's going on. And like I say, things are just uncertain. And we just, nowadays, these jobs, they just not dependable no more. So if you have a job, hold on to it. If there's other ways you can figure out, if you want to try to make other sources, income, and you have goals, I say go for it. Go for it. Whatever you're trying to do to make extra money, go on and go for it. Because I'm telling you, we living in some times now where you really gonna have to, try to figure out how to survive out here. Like my mindset just been so much on survival mode. I never been like that, but yeah, so with that being said, you all have a great one. I thank you so much for tuning in. Till the next time, you all stay encouraged, stay prayed up, and don't let nothing or no one steal your joy. Until the next time, I'll be talking to you all. Bye bye, love you.